Democratic candidate for president, Senator Hillary Clinton, right here in New York City. Senator, nice to see you.
Great to see you, Greta.
Thank you for agreeing to do this interview.
Thank you. I'm happy to.
All right. Now, this is what I think this is what I think the voters are thinking about. One is that we have a senator who does know the difference between the Shiites and Al-Qaeda. Another senator whose memory may be shot, figuratively. And a third one who's been sitting in a pew for 20 years and never heard anything. How do you answer? How do you reconcile that? And I guess we should peel off Senator McCain since he's not in this horse race at this point.
Well, you know, I think the voters are intensely interested in this election. We've just seen these huge voter registration numbers come out of Pennsylvania. I think the voters by now know we're all, you know, in this race competing as hard as we can. And I'm excited by that. You know, I really feel like this election has such high stakes for everybody that the participation is a reflection of how seriously people are taking the campaigns.
But is it the issue of the Bosnia problem that you've had in the last couple of days and the one with Reverend Wright and the hateful speech of his and Senator Obama? If you're trying to tell the voters why yours is less of a problem than his is less of a problem right now, what do you say?
Well, just speaking for myself, obviously, you know, I'm a human being. I made a mistake and owned up to it. But that's not what people talk to me about. When I'm out campaigning like I have been in Pennsylvania and Indiana, and I'm going to, you know, be in North Carolina and Kentucky, and I'm excited about West Virginia and all the places where I'll be in the next month or two. People want to talk about the economy and health care, and they want to know what are you going to do to fix our country, to get it back on the right track, to help my family and me. And that's what I'm really engaged in, because, you know, when you've been in a campaign for 14 months, you know, there's all other kinds of distractions. But at the end of the day, this is like a hiring decision. Who will people hire to get this country moving in the direction it should move? And I think, you know, for me, it's making that case that I will be ready on day one to, you know, do what needs to be done.
Well, I guess I don't mean to badger on this particular issue, but when I look at the issues, I get a little confused. Like, take Iraq. There have been 85 votes, according to my colleague James Rosen, in the Senate for both you and Senator Obama to vote on having to do with Iraq. He says, well, I opposed the war in the beginning, but when you look at the 85 votes, you agreed on 84 of them. So it seems to me that, you know, the voters have to make a judgment. And so do you agree totally on Iraq, or where are you different in the soundbite so that we get it?
Well, Greta, I think that you've put your finger on a very significant issue in this campaign. You know, as we know, Senator Obama has said he was opposed to the war. He opposed it in 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, and 08. But the fact is, when he came to the Senate, he and I have voted the same, except for one vote. And that means to me that you want to go with someone who has said, look, I know how to get us out of Iraq. I know the tough decisions we have to make. I've laid out a comprehensive plan for doing just that. And Senator Obama has basically run his whole campaign on a speech he made in 2002. And I think the voters have to assess which do they believe is more relevant to the tough decisions that our next president's going to be facing.
So that's why I go back to badgering you a little bit on the issue, is that how, you know, when you look at the past week, and November's a long way off, or even the summer when the convention is that you've got two senators with a PR flap this week, and his is extended going back about 8 days. How do you distinguish? How should you tell the voters that yours is not a serious problem and his is a serious problem? What do you say? How do you distinguish them?
Well, what I say is for people to look at my entire record. You know, I have been making positive changes for people for many years. I think the best way you in life tell what someone is going to do is to look and see what they've already done. And with me, you've got someone who has been around the world, been to more than 80 countries, has represented America and America's values in many different settings, someone who did work to help create the Children's Health Insurance Program, to bring health care to our National Guard and Reserves, who took on a lot of tough issues, as I have over all these years. So it's the totality. You know, I think people have to look at who we are, of course, and what we've done, and equally importantly, what we say we'll do and who has the strength and experience to actually deliver those results.
Another issue I'm confused about, and I follow the news pretty closely, is health care. And I know that you have a program, Senator Obama has a program, but frankly, as much as I read about both programs and heard about them, I really don't know the difference. Can you give me sort of the 30 seconds so I really get it? What's the difference between your programs?
I have a program to make health care more affordable, to get the costs down, and to improve the quality and cover everyone. Senator Obama's plan does not cover everyone. He doesn't have as aggressive a measures that I do to get costs down. And I think the real crux of the difference is I want to make sure everyone has access to quality, affordable health care. He would leave about 15 million people out.
Where are the other sort of high point differences? Because there really is a lot in common. You're both Democrats. I mean, what are sort of the, for the voters to sort of get, what are sort of the other bullet point differences?
I think there are three big differences. On issues like health care, on what I would do with the economy, particularly on home foreclosures, which I think you have to address, otherwise we're not going to get the housing market back and get this economic challenge that we face met. On a lot of the very specifics about, what our experiences are, what we've already done, what we can put forward as, essentially our resume, because this is a hiring decision. People think about elections and they say, oh, you can vote for somebody on the basis of whether you like their hair or not. Well, yeah, you can. But a smarter way to think about it is the American people have to hire a president. And so both on what I've done and what I will do, and on who can best deliver results, I think that there is a significant gap. And what I've seen in my last 14 months on the campaign trail is that every time people count me out, the pundits say it's over, it should be over, the voters bring me back because they believe, as I do, that this election is not about me. It's about everybody else. It's about whether you're going to have a job, whether you're going to keep your home, whether you're going to have health care, whether you're going to be able to afford college for your children. And that's why people keep coming back to my campaign, because they believe that I will actually get up every day in that White House and work my heart out for all of our people.